my faithful Lawyer YouTube subscribers. Today is Thursday. It is April the 16th. The year is 2020, and we still are stuck in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. And it's starting to dawn on me the more I look at these numbers. Let's look at some numbers here. Since this got started sometime the second week of March, in Florida, they have confirmed 21,000 cases of the coronavirus. So they have over 21,000 people have tested positive. They've had over 524 deaths in about a month. Georgia, 14,000 cases, a little over 14,000 cases, 501 deaths. Hawaii, 530 confirmed cases, 9 deaths. In Illinois, they have 25,000, a little under 25,000 confirmed cases, about 950 deaths. Louisiana, which is supposed to have been a hot spot at one point, they have a little over 21,000 cases, 1,000 deaths. And of the 1,000 deaths, 244 in the city of New Orleans and Jefferson Parish. A little over 1,000 deaths. In Connecticut, 12,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus, 554 deaths. I'm trying to find a state outside of New York. Let's look at Michigan, which has been all over the news. Well, Mississippi, Mississippi so far has 3,000 confirmed deaths, 3,000 confirmed cases, and 111 deaths. Illinois, Indiana. Michigan. Let's see what's going on with Michigan. So Michigan has 28,000 deaths. 28,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus, and right around little over 1,900 deaths, with 884 of them being in Detroit, Michigan, in Oakland County. So you got about a little over, almost 900 people have died in Wayne. This is through April the 15th. So let's see, let's go back, check some. Well, it's in California. In California, the whole state has 23,000 confirmed, just a little over 758 deaths. Y'all, we in trouble. If you look at these numbers, outside of New York City, either these numbers are incorrect, or we have really wasted our time. Other than when we know in New York, they have a little over almost 12,000 deaths as of today, with almost 11,000 in New York City alone. And I would love to see the statistics concerning the people who died in New York City, what issues they had, health issues, what age, the average age. They haven't released any of that stuff for New York. Previous health issues, age, race. There's a lot of stuff I would like to know about New York, because they seem to get caught with most cases so far. Let's see, let's check Florida, because Florida is a fairly large state. At one point they were saying a lot of, did I check Florida already? Yeah, Florida only has 524 cases, with 109 in Miami. So, I don't know. Let's check Alabama. Alabama only has 109 cases of deaths of coronavirus. Then I'm reading stuff where people are saying, well, everybody who dies of something, they're turning into coronavirus cases. If that was the case, these numbers would be sky high. If people were dying and they were labeling all these deaths as coronavirus, the numbers would be higher. Could that be what's happening in New York? Who knows? But let's keep looking at the numbers. The numbers here, Texas is a fairly large state. Texas only has 318 deaths since it started from coronavirus. But we need a large state. I think I've hit all the big states: California, Texas, Florida. I mean, we've hit quite a few states, the large states. Alaska, I mean, they got up there. Alaska only has 8 deaths. Okay, so related to coronavirus. It started out in Washington. Let's see where the state of Washington. This is where things get started. Right now, in the state of Washington, they only have 491 deaths. So it's time when you look at these deaths, we can go on and on, look at those numbers all day, night long. The deaths are nowhere near, other than the city of New York. These numbers are relatively low. And I would say maybe New Orleans is kind of at that 2,000 deaths down in Louisiana. Altogether in the United States, we're looking at a total of maybe 11, 12, 20. How many people did they say? 27,000 deaths or something? I meant to check that to see. However, I just don't think the damage, the long-term damage to the economy is worth what we're going through now. I mean, the question would be, did we bring the numbers down by doing this, by staying in the house and shutting down the economy and telling everybody to stay at home? Did it bring the numbers down? I don't know, because New York still got a hell of a lot of high-ass numbers up there. I mean, the numbers are high up in New York. The question would be, how much longer are we going to continue to sit in this situation? May 1st, June 1st, July 1st, August 1st. The numbers, we keep looking, when will they go back to open up the economy? Because obviously, they want to continue, they say they want to do more testing before they do that. They want to have more tests available to test more people to find out who's positive, who's negative, who has immunity, or who already has the antibodies or been exposed to the coronavirus. Those 3 things are very important to find out. So they're going to have to ramp up the testing somehow. Something that should have been did from day one. But overall, the United States isn't really doing bad. Outside of New York City, most states are relatively low. Colorado only has 290 deaths. We do Connecticut, 554 deaths. Let's look at Arizona, 131 deaths. I don't know. It just seems odd. Maryland, 235 deaths. I mean, we got the whole country in complete lockdown, and the vast majority of deaths are in the New York City area, or the state of New York, mainly the New York City area. That sounds like to me is where they should have put all their effort and energy into. I read a report where they built in Washington, the state of Washington, they built extra hospital. They built at the hospital. They never got a patient in there. They had to dismantle it because the patients never showed up. So I don't know. I think Wyoming has 2 deaths. They're on lockdown too. I don't know if Wyoming's on lockdown. They may not be. Wisconsin, 170 deaths. 105 in Milwaukee County. You guys, I think we got bamboozled. I really do feel outside of New York City. I mean, you got the whole state of Georgia locked down, and you only had 62 deaths in Fulton County. 501 deaths, the whole state. I just wonder, is this... this makes you wonder. Is there another way this could have been done without? Because if we continue to stay in the state, the economy has been so severely injured, so damaged by this, that I just wonder, will it be able to recover after all this? I mean, we know a lot of restaurants are not going to reopen. A lot of businesses are going to file bankruptcy. It's just a lot of stuff isn't going. If you all think things are going to return to normal anytime soon. That's not going to happen. The damage is so severe to the economy that the thing that concerns me the most, African Americans are going to suffer it the worst when this economy reopens. We will be the worst. We will be the most unemployed, in poverty. We in 2008 in the Great Recession, we suffered the most economically from the Great Recession, the housing downturn. And I think it's going to be the same situation here. I mean, we still going to have. I don't think that we're going to fare well in this. And I'm looking at a lot of black people pushing for us to stay in lockdown. So the longer we stay in lockdown, the greater chance of risk of a long recession / depression. That's going to hurt us even worse. And the numbers just don't justify it outside of New York City. Now, New York City, maybe they need to continue to have them in lockdown until they get those numbers under control there. But in other states, I just don't see the need for states outside of New York City outside of the New York state of New York, and that whole New York, Connecticut, those states up there. I think if we continue down this path, we will continue to do a lot of damage to the economy, and it may not be as quickly as able to be fixed as you all think. So I definitely think the conversation now needs to shift from stabilizing the coronavirus patients numbers to reopening the economy. I think it's time we can have those conversations because we cannot continue down this path, not based upon those numbers outside of New York City. Now, it just doesn't make sense to continue down this path. The damage is too severe. I didn't look at Nevada because you got a major city like Vegas. What's going on in Nevada? Let me see something. Nevada. You got Vegas out there. What's going on in Nevada? Yeah, where is it? Why isn't it? It's not even on the list. I can't even look. Well, let's see. See Nebraska. So that's not. Yeah, I can't even look up Nevada. Let's see if I can put it in here. Not even let me put it in there. It has Nebraska. But I guess they don't have the numbers for Las Vegas. Let's see. Where did I put that in? Nope. No numbers out there in this particular program I'm using. Y'all, I just think we got bamboozled. I swear to y'all, this from day one I've always said something's not right about this for us to be in lockdown like this. And a lot of wealthy people have made a lot of money off of this situation, while financially the vast majority of Americans are hurting. Financially, because we ain't making no money. So, and if y'all think $1,200 from the United States government, something that you paid into, is a gift, you are a fool. You paid that money over the years. $1,200 ain't shit. So I'm just thinking, okay. And I know the vast majority of you all know $1,200 isn't anything. You'd rather be out earning your own income and returning to your businesses and returning to a normal life. And I think we've got bamboozled. We've just really got, these numbers have been greatly inflated outside of New York City. And we are now stuck in a situation that they've bamboozled us and tricked and deceived us. Could they have predicted these numbers to be so low? I don't know. Like I said from the very beginning, I've always felt that this was a ploy by the Democrats because they were the first to shut down their states. California, there were a couple of states and cities that moved very aggressively to shut down their economies. And they were all, as I was saying, there were a couple of states that moved very aggressively and shut down their economies at the very beginning, California being one, a couple of mostly Democrat states, New York, of course, they shut down. And I think this was a ploy by the Democrats to use the coronavirus pandemic to push, because the Democrats don't really have a strong candidate in Biden. They don't. And this was their opportunity to really push Donald Trump out of office by shutting down the economy nationwide. Now, of course, we know worldwide this is going on. But even worldwide, I'm not still seeing the numbers that I'm just, maybe it's too soon. Maybe later on in the year, we'll see numbers start to spike. And of course, nobody wants to see numbers go up higher. But to justify where we're at in the economic situation right here, you would want to see, because I think there are a lot of people going to continue, when this is over with, a lot of people are not going to be able to return to work. A lot of restaurants are not going to reopen. A lot of stores are not going to reopen. A lot of businesses are not going to reopen. It's going to take some time to heal the economy after this. And like I said, it's going to do a lot of damage to Black Americans, Hispanic American minorities. And I think that the damage will be so great that will we enter into the depression if we stay locked down like this longer. I think we will. The longer we stay locked down, the longer we drag this out. The whole country shouldn't have been locked down. Certain states should have been locked down where the numbers were spiking. Mainly New York, maybe Louisiana. But based upon the numbers I'm looking at, I think this has been a colossal. I mean, is this correct? Are these numbers right? Especially about California. I mean, let's check this again. The whole state of California, we only have 758 deaths for the entire state. Is that? Let me just really Google that and see, because that cannot be accurate. But California was one of the first states to report deaths. Let's see. Council this. California deaths. This phone I use this thing, Cala. Okay, so let's see. Let me see if it's there. Governor Newsom, death toll climbs, hospitalization slow. 63 more people have died in California. So it has reached 821. California is one of the largest states in the United States. I think it's one of the most. How many people live in California? And we're only looking at 821 deaths here in the whole state of California. It's a complete lockdown. We have been bamboozled with y'all. Something's not right with these numbers. And if we continue down this path, we're going to really be hurting even worse. I do agree with Donald Trump on this. This time we open back up the economy, because these numbers just don't justify this. It just doesn't. The economic harm and damage to the economy is so severe right now that if we continue down this path, we're going to be worse off than the coronavirus running around here killing people. People are going to wish they had died from the coronavirus than living through a depression. It's not making sense here. It's time to reopen the economy. It's time to get this thing back up and running. You got 22 million people who have filed for unemployment. It's a lot of people. 22 million people for about 20,000 deaths. What are we doing here? This doesn't make sense. This was a mistake. A colossal mistake that is doing more harm than anything else. But I know a lot of y'all are probably scared to weave us out of y'all. Everybody's running around scared of the coronavirus. Yeah, but you better be scared of the Great Depression. Because if we continue down this path, I don't think we're going to be able to fix this so fast. And you all seem to think that this is going to be easy, just to be like Donald Trump saying, flip a switch and the economy just turns back on. It doesn't work that way. It just does not work like that. I think we're going to be worse off in a minute. The situation is going to be pretty bad. So, anyway, those are just my thoughts. I think if we continue down this path, we're going to be a hell of a lot of hurting for a long time. We'll still be doing this for a year from now or longer. We cannot continue down this path anymore. The states have to begin to open either May 1st or June 1st, and I'm voting for May 1st. States that have not, Georgia can open back up May 1st. This is ridiculous here. We don't have enough deaths to justify what we're doing here in Georgia. This is not making sense. There are states that I think we're ready. Now, we'll take a look at the numbers as it happens. Right now, this doesn't make sense to continue down this path. And all we're doing is doing more economic harm that will continue to hurt and linger for years behind this. I'm for May 1st, opening back up the states, getting certain states back up and running, especially with the numbers alone. There's no need to continue down this path. This is a colossal mistake. It should never, ever have happened. In New York City, those numbers are high there. And maybe New York needs to stay in some sort of lockdown there. But the rest of the states, since there's running from the coronavirus no more, we need to return back to business as usual. If we stay in this situation, the path that we're going now, past May 1st, we're going to be in trouble. This needs to end. We cannot continue down this path. It does not make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And if you're a Black American listening to this video, you need to really think hard. Because if we continue down this path, we're going to be worse off than a few blacks dying from the coronavirus. It ain't worth it. This isn't worth it. We have to reopen back up the economy and get these countries back doing what it does best. Because if we continue down this path, we're going to be worse off. And it's going to get even worse. I've been waiting through these numbers. I'm watching these numbers and watching these numbers and watching these numbers. They say Georgia doesn't peak until May 1st. Yeah, first it was middle of April. Then they moved it further back. Then they moved it back for now it's May 1st. I'm like, okay, what is going on here? The numbers just don't justify what's happening here in Georgia. It's just not. It doesn't justify it. And they're building a multi-bed hospital at the Georgia World Congress Center with maybe 1,000 beds or something similar to that. Why? Okay, this is getting out of hand. And this is being a colossal waste of time. The damage is too severe. We cannot continue down this path. It cannot continue down. We have to begin. May 1st should be the date, if not sooner, to start returning things back to normal. But hey, that's just my thoughts on this. I know y'all are going to be scared of the coronavirus. We scared of the coronavirus because they didn't scare the shit out of everybody. I'm thinking, okay, what is going on here? We have to stop and be rational and look at these numbers. The numbers are too low. We're like, okay, yeah, like I've said from the very beginning, more people die from car accidents in the United States. Shootings. Chicago's had a crime issue going on for years. Every summer, how many people die over in Chicago from shootings up there in the city every year? Thousands, I thought. Maybe 1,000. I don't know. Outside of New York City, we need to start returning things back to normal. If we continue down this path, the pain will be so severe that many of you will have wished that you had met your fate with the coronavirus. Trust me on this. I can't even sing the song at this point because I'm like so over here like, okay, what is going on here? This has to stop. We cannot continue down this path because it's not doing any of us any good. And this is a waste of time. It's time to return back to normal. But anyway, this is my thoughts and opinion. I'm sure everybody has their opinions too. Today is Thursday, April 16th, year 2019. I gotta take a shower and get up into this car dealership. There's a recall on one of my cars. I'm returning back to normal. I mean, we can't sit here forever. This has to stop. Anyway, I'm out of here. Look forward to reading you all's comments and enjoy the rest of your Thursday.